Hi guys, it's Pete from MyJewelryBunch.com, and today I'm going to give you my 8-month review of using my Elegoo Mars. Really, I want to just talk about how my experience has been with the Elegoo Mars, the standard version, right out of the box over the last 8 months. Let's get started. Okay, so what do I like about my Elegoo Mars? I got to tell you, my Elegoo Mars has been a great printer. I took this thing out of the box, I set it all up, I kind of took it and cleaned it just before I started printing. I adjusted the bed level for the print build plate and poured some resin in, did the test print, and it worked perfect. Out of the box, this thing is pretty good. Again, you have some fiddling that you're going to have to do with the adjustable build plate because this does angle up, and if it loosens up or you're scraping something off of there, chances are that's going to come out of level and you're going to have to adjust it. So just keep that in mind. Every time you print, you should re-level your build plate. The print quality on this thing is phenomenal. I can't tell you how I've gotten some great prints off of this printer. Once you start tweaking all your settings and getting it to the point where you like it, save those settings in the file. Sheet2Box allows you to create a new profile for every resin you print with, and I suggest that once you get the perfect setting for that resin, you save it and always use those settings. There are many types of resins that this printer can print with, and I've done probably 12 or 14 different types of resins, 3 or 4 good castables and a bunch of bad castables. Once you get it working to the point where you get it to work perfect, it's right on the money. Very easy to set up. One of the things I love about the fact that this was just great out of the box. Some 3D printers you have to do a lot of work to, some of them you don't, and I noticed that more manufacturers now, thankfully, are following Elegoo's footsteps in that out of the box, you just kind of plug them in, pour in the resin and go. That's fantastic. Again, with some of these ball jointed build plates, you do have to adjust it every time before you print. Very easy to maintain. I have had great luck keeping this cleaned and working very well. I've only had some issues that I'll cover shortly, but as far as keeping everything clean, everything's easy to get to, everything's easy to clean. If you use certain supplies, like I tend to drain all the resin out after I print, unless I know I'm going to print right away again. I use isopropyl alcohol to rinse out the vat. I will then use glass cleaner to clean the vat and a microfiber towel to wipe everything down. I also keep the microfiber towels around to clean the display. I haven't had any issues that were caused from manufacturing. So all in all, I've had great luck with this. It's very easy to clean and maintain. All I've had to do is just clean the screw once a month and re-grease it, and as long as I do that, I get very good movement on the Z-axis. So what are some of the things that I really don't like about the Elegoo Mars? Well, there's a couple of things that really irk me to death. One of the things that irks me to death is that every time I take a print off the build plate and I scrape it off, 9 times out of 10, my bed goes out of level, which requires me to unscrew the lock bolt, make sure the vat is empty or put a piece of paper down, re-level the bed, raise it, put my vat back in, and add the resin. So that's one thing I've just gotten in the habit of. Every single time I print, I have to readjust the build plate. Kind of drives me crazy, and one of the bad things about having multiple printers is on the Epex X1, the build plate comes set from the factory. I've never had to adjust it, and I really wish that Elegoo had gone to that version, especially with the Pro coming out, because the fact that never having to adjust this build plate will result in your ability to print, take 5 minutes out of your time to readjust that sometimes. And I also caused a problem where I did not level the build plate. My build plate was misaligned, and when it went down to print the first layer, because I did not adjust that build plate, I cracked my LCD display. So I want you to keep that in mind. On the standard Elegoo Mars, the USB slot is in the back. And I have to tell you, that is, the last 8 months, it's become a pain in the neck for me. Having to go around the back and put my stick in and fumble around because I can't see it sometimes. That's a little pet peeve, but it drives me kind of crazy. Those are my only gripes about this printer. What have I had to do to this printer to keep it running? Well, I really haven't had to do much. Like I said, the only thing that happened to this printer was that I cracked the LCD display. Now, it didn't cause a problem. It just cracked the glass. It didn't crack the display itself and cause errant things to happen until after about a month of being cracked. Once that LCD display started to deteriorate, I started getting little lines in the print bed. They didn't affect my models, but they would crop up every once in a while. So they're pretty inexpensive, between $19 and $30 you can buy a new display. And most of this style printer uses the same display. So if you can't find the Elegoo one, you can find one for the Epax or any of the other printers, and they are pretty much standard. All links to the products I'll put in the description below. So that was one issue I've had. It prints castable resins okay. Now I find that tweaking a lot of settings, you can get great results, and I did do a video on that. If it's not up now, it'll be up shortly. So there are certain settings that you have to do with castable resins that you don't have to do with other standard resins, and I think that's important to spend some time with that. And I think that's true with every SLA resin printer. Again, just the issues with the build plate level, I think have just driven me crazy. And while I love the printer, I think it's great, and I will keep using it every day. It does print well, so for me, it's perfect for printing the stuff I print. There are times where I wish it was a little larger, but if I want a bigger SLA printer, I will invest in one in the future. One of the things I've noticed about the Anycubic and the Elegoo Mars as compared to some other models, the Elegoo Mars has a slower Z-axis motor, so it will print a little slower than some other printers. But I think that's true with the Anycubic, which the newer version of the Anycubic I think is a piece of junk personally. And for this price point, I think right now they're about $129 or $130 on Amazon. I'll put a link below, by the way. You can't beat this. With the exact same settings as my Epax X1, I would say I'm getting a 15% improvement on the X1 print speed and getting the exact same results. However, for the prints that I print, they typically take 3 to 5 hours, and I'm not doing the type of manufacturing that I have to have these things running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that it would matter for me. So I don't see that speed difference being a huge degradation to the quality of this printer. Now, I understand the Elegoo Mars Pro has a slightly improved Z-axis motor and set screws, so I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some improved speeds in that. But again, you still have layer height to deal with, and every resin is slightly different. So the factors of print speed are going to affect the color of your resin. If it's white, it's going to cure faster than a black resin or a red resin. Clear resins tend to cure a little quicker than do opaque resins, so just keep that in mind. So print speed on this, while slower than my Epax X1, is nothing to me. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm getting the quality, and I am getting the quality out of this, it really doesn't matter to me. I've had both of these printers knocking off jobs overnight during the day, and I could care less because by the time I get back to them to pull off the prints, it might be 6-7 hours anyway. My overall feeling is that the cost of ownership of the Elegoo Mars is phenomenal. Owning this printer, I think I purchased this printer when it was $279. I bought a few bottles of resin when I bought it 8 or 9 months ago, and I started printing like a fiend. And because I've only had the one problem with the LCD display, I have to be honest with you, I can't tell you how low the cost of ownership is on this particular printer. It is far lower than, say, the Epex X1. In comparison, yes, this printer with the parallel light upgrade costs about twice as much money, and they do exactly the same things. This prints a little faster than this, but for half the price, probably should have just bought another couple of these, and I could have had, you know, the same setup for the exact same amount of money. So this is half the price of some of the other printers out there. It's just as good, and overall I'm very happy with it. And I think the only improvement that I would make if I don't upgrade to the Elegoo Mars Pro right away is I may just take the USB slot and I may cut a hole in the front panel here and just mount that there. So that would be my only suggestion for this printer. I think it's phenomenal. Some people tend not to like them, and I know some people complain about the plastic cover, and I have to be honest with you, I've had this for 8 months. It's still in perfect condition except for my fingerprints all over it, and it does block out the UV rays. You can see I'm under a window, but during the day, being down here in South Florida, I tend to keep these closed when I'm printing. If I'm in here, the orange cover keeps the resin from curing. You know, some people will say that the light's going to get in there and destroy my print. I haven't had that happen. So from my experience, no, it's not that bad. And this does not get direct sunlight anyhow. So I'm not as worried about that. Would I have liked to see a different cover on this? Well, you know, for the cost, for less than $250, who cares? This is working perfect. I mean, it would have been nice to have a metal housing with a hinged, completely sealed case, but that's going to drive the price up. And I think what you're getting is a fantastic printer at a low price, built with quality products, and easy to use. The Sheet 2 box firmware inside that's on the motherboard, as well as the Sheet 2 box slicer that you use with this, they do work well. They have, you know, just tweaking issues, so keep that in mind. All the products I use to maintain my Elegoo Mars, I will put links in the description below. Those are affiliate links from Amazon and maybe a couple from eBay where you can get products and use some of the things that I do to maintain this. And I also put links to some of the other videos that I've done on my Elegoo Mars. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting an Elegoo Mars, go ahead and get one. I think they're great printers. I've heard some people have some problems with, you know, things like the FEP paper or the LCD displays going bad or the UV lamp going bad. I've had this for 8 months, and the only issue I had so far was I cracked the LCD display. So keep that in mind. If you take care of your printer, it's going to last you a lifetime. So those are my recommendations in my 8-month review of my Elegoo Mars. I can't tell you enough. If you're thinking about getting one of these, go ahead and get one, because they are fantastic. If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber to see more of my videos that are upcoming. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks, guys, for taking the time to watch some of my videos. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos and you find them helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see new stuff that I put out, usually on a weekly basis, hit the subscribe button and you can get notified by clicking on that little bell. I really appreciate any sharing that you can do, and the thumbs up that I get if you like these videos kind of helps with my channel to grow. You'll see that in the descriptions and on my website I do put affiliate links to products that I show and use in these videos. Those affiliate links give me a little small commission. Doesn't cost you anything if you buy them. And when you buy within the first 24 hours of clicking on those links, I get a tiny little commission that helps keep this channel going. Any little bit helps to keep this up and running. Again, thanks for taking the time to watch it. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up and share on social media. Take care, guys. Happy watchmaking and jewelry making.